Hey there everybody, it's Eternal Snowman here with another Pokemon hack review. This time we're going to be covering Pokemon Radical Red. So Pokemon Radical Red was a game I just completed. It's gotten a lot of recognition over the past couple months because of how good it is and how difficult it is. And so I wanted to check it out and see what all the hype was about. So I actually recently streamed my entire run in the past couple weeks. Which took me about give or take 20 hours to play through the game. And I did that over on my Twitch channel where I just recently hit affiliate. So I wanted to do some streaming for Pokemon related stuff. So I did stream Pokemon Radical Red and it took me around 20 hours to complete. And it was a really, really good game. And after I completed the game, I wanted to make a review about it because of how good the game was. So I'll quickly break down kind of what you should expect from the game and then like my overall thoughts, and then kind of what you should expect if you want to try to play the game for yourself. And I'll leave a link here to the Poke community thread where it was originally posted, and I'll also leave links in this video to private or not private, unlisted videos of my playthrough of the game. You can also go ahead and check it out on my Twitch channel. The VODs will be up for a couple weeks after this video goes up. I believe one more week after this video goes up. So if you do want to check it out for the purpose of just watching my playthrough, I'll probably have both the unlisted YouTube videos as well as the Twitch VODs for you to check out as well. So basically going into what is Pokemon Radical Red, I would say I would equate it most closely to the Pokemon Drayano hacks. So if you're familiar with the Drayano hacks, they are basically kind of difficulty hacks plus they also have a lot of different quality of life and balance changes that were added to the game. So Radical Red, in a similar fashion, actually changes Pokemon Fire Red as a base to include all 8 generations of Pokemon. They also do some minor changes to all the to some of the underpowered Pokemon. Give some Pokemon more moves. They add Mega Evolutions back into the game alongside the Generation 8 Pokemon. The Gmax Pokemon also have Generation 8 the Generation 8 Gmax Pokemon also now have Mega Evolutions, or like ones like Kingler and Lapras, for example. So for the most part, they just add kind of extra little things on the side, and they make Fire Red an extremely complete experience. So basically, the game goes and actually uses basically the entire level range. By the Elite Four, you are level 85 actually, and they make grinding a lot easier as well, so that you don't really have as much of it's pretty easy to get to the get through grinding sections, and so you don't have to really be sitting there grinding wild Pokemon ever really, throughout like basically any point in the game. So what does Radical Red really do? Like at its core, it's a difficulty hack. So it is pretty difficult. If I were to say like as a comparison point, it's pretty close to Reborn in terms of difficulty. I personally think that it's slightly easier than Reborn because compared to Reborn at least, Reborn does not have as much like they offer you a lot worse Pokemon. There's a lot of new mechanics that you have to learn. So in the sense of like purely if you had no like previous knowledge of Pokemon between the two games, I would say that Radical Red is probably a little bit harder. But for somebody who's coming into Pokemon with some sort of Pokemon background, expecting that you've played through most of the games, like then you will probably have a much easier time with Radical Red. Radical Red does some interesting things that I really like. So they make all trainer battles like a competitive battle, meaning that it's set battle, meaning that you can't use items in battle, like as in like bag items. You can use held items and whatnot. Um, and all items also come back at the end of battle. So a lot of these changes that they made to the battle system allows it to balance the difficulty of a lot of fights in a significant way. So like the reason why Reborn was so difficult is because all the fights are basically rigged against you, because the gym leader is going to have like a terrain that's extremely beneficial to them. Comparatively, Radical Red is extremely fair in the way that it makes the fights difficult. Outside of maybe a few times where they have like extremely powerful and potentially broken Pokemon earlier than you can get them, for the most part, you're going to be on even footing with all of the opponents because they also can't use items in battle and they kind of have the same limitations that you do, which is something I really like about the hack. I think this is a great choice that they made. For the most part, outside of that, the story and like general playthrough of the game will be very similar to Fire Red, so you won't be getting that much of a different experience. There's like basically one new event. So if you're looking for something completely new, like Pokemon Reborn or Pokemon Insurgents, I would suggest you to look elsewhere, as this isn't an overhaul of Fire Red, but rather it's a complete Fire Red experience, is how I would put it. I would also say that you should be prepared to for a very difficult game. I personally would say that a lot of the fights were pretty fair, outside of a few places where there's two main things that kind of throw me off about this game. Threw me off about like different places. One was that there are places where Pokemon's types, move set, or stats were significantly buffed or changed. Examples of this were like Ladian is now a bug fighting type, and like Luxray is a electric dark type. So because of that, some places I was kind of bamboozled by a little bit, but if you like do some research and documentation, or if you pay a lot of attention, you'll probably be able to like find these places out. The other thing is that some places in the game you'll have extra fights where there weren't in the base game. There is no real way of like knowing exactly when those places are. That's like part of the times that I wiped were related to those. But outside of that, I think almost everything in the game was pretty fair. I beat almost all of the fights in this game in under 5 tries without having to look up their team. Um, and obviously, I guess not obviously, but considering that I play a lot of competitive Pokemon, I'm not going to say that the average player who's playing this game is going to have the same experience that I do. But I do think that it is fair enough that as long as you're willing to take some of those extra steps, like if you need to play a little bit more optimized, if you have to look ahead, if you have to like kind of scout their team, if you need to change like one or two members to help for specific battles, all of these things can help you win in a lot of these situations. And so I would suggest that if you aren't as good at, and you are struggling at some points in this game, you look up some guides on how to do like EV training, how to do all of these other things, and get a little bit of a foothold into competitive Pokemon to kind of help you along. But I definitely think that all of these fights are very reasonable and fair. And outside of maybe the Elite Four, which can be a little bit brutal, almost all of the other fights in the game I think are pretty reasonably done, as long as you have some prior knowledge about them. That said, I do think that this game is very difficult still, and like obviously not for the faint of heart. I think that's part of the charm for me, because I think that uh, very difficult games like this are not something that you can really get in as a Pokemon experience in like for the most part. So I love having these hacks. And also, as an addition to this, something that adds on to the difficulty is that you can't over level. Similarly to Reborn, they have a level cap. Unlike in Reborn, instead of in Reborn system, it's basically that you can over level and then you can bring them down with common candies. In this game, it basically just like significantly stunts your EXP growth once you hit the level cap. So if the level cap is 15 for a given section, like level 15, then what it'll do is just like once you hit level 15, you'll gain like 1/10th or 1/20th of the EXP or whatever. So that does help a lot with like not having to like manage your levels or whatever. If you just hit the level cap, then you can just like, yeah, you don't have to worry about it that much. And so how do I rate this game, and how do I compare it to the other best hacks that I've played? So I've played a lot of really great hacks out there. and probably most of the notable ones at least. And Reborn is probably my favorite hack still of all time. But this hack compares extremely favorably to Reborn. So I would say that comparatively speaking, difficulty wise, I would put it on the same level. I think personally it's slightly easier because you get access to much better Pokemon, and like there's a lot of things in this game that are way more fair. Where Reborn, it can feel even a little bit unfair at times. I think that in terms of content, it doesn't add too much extra content, but it's plenty for just basically what it is. It's like a remastered version of Fire Red. The graphics are fantastic. A lot of the extra features that they added are really, really cool. Like, for example, they added the Sword and Shield raid battles into the game just for like different sections, and I think it's really awesome. The extra event they added for the Cerulean um, cave, basically, without going into too many spoilers, they added one extra event in the game, and that was also really cool. And all the graphics and all of the new things that they added were really, really nice. Like the only kind of few downsides, I guess, are that like because there's some limitations with the hardware, so some of the stuff will look weird. Like, for example, some Pokemon will actually have some letters of their name chopped off, and some moves, especially the newer moves, will have some letters chopped off as well. And that's mostly because of like a text size limitation. So they couldn't fit all of the characters for some of the new moves. Um, Draining Kiss was a big one, and like moves like that. But honestly, those are kind of like purely like small things. So I would highly recommend this game to anybody. A lot of their UI looks fantastic. It's beautiful. Like they use the black and white UI, and the sprites look very nice. They use generally Gen 4 sprites. Um, and I would have like almost no complaints about all of that kind of stuff. I think it's really, really cool. And I would highly suggest that anybody who's kind of looking for a hack to play, go check this out, because I think this is probably the premier like remastered version of a Pokemon game. I say this as somebody who has played and really enjoyed a lot of the Drayano hacks. I think this is goes beyond those Drayano hacks and is like the basically the best of any sort of remastered game I've seen from the hacking community uh, at large. So definitely, I would say check it out. Its hype is well deserved. I would put it still slightly below Pokemon Reborn, despite its being more technically or sorry more impressive in terms of like graphics and smoothness and all that. I would still say that because it's basically a remastered version of Fire Red, I still put that as kind of a little bit of a notch below the fresh experience that you can get from Pokemon Reborn. But definitely, highly, highly, highly recommend. And I would give this easily a 10 out of 10 for overall gameplay. And once again, if you want to check out and see some of my playthrough, go ahead and check out my unlisted runs, which I'll leave in the description. I'll probably have part 4 kind of coming out a little bit later, but you can also check it out on my Twitch channel. The VODs will be up for a little bit. So yeah, if you're interested in any of those, if you guys want to see if you guys need specific hints, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Or if you want to see specific fights and whatnot, feel free to go check those out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys have any suggestions for hacks that you want to see me play or review, then let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.